everybody. We got a lot to do this summer, so I'm going to take you on a little uncut version tour of the railroad. For those of you that don't know, we got the Neil Wilson Railway. We have a loop built. We've done many charitable events. So I'm going to give you an uncut, raw version and go through what we're going to be working on this summer. Unedited. This could be interesting. So let's go for a ride. We're going to show you the railroad grade, show you all the projects, and see what happens. So I'm going to turn you around, face the front, and I'll talk while we are driving. So what we're looking at here is the parking lot of the Neil Wilson Railway. So when you pull in, this is where you'll be. This is the railroad grade right here. The railway will be running from left to right, this way through here. When you leave the railway station, there's a 3% grade. And we're actually going to ride the grade, so we'll get up on top. So the parking lot here is pretty big. I'm hoping it's big enough. I think we're going to be really busy once we open. The railway station is going to go in this area here. Let's see, probably like, not very good at this. Can't see if I'm pointing at the trees here or not. From these trees over to the railroad grade to my right. So then this will create a barrier to that little yellow building over there, which we're going to take out of there. And that'll be a private area. And that area there, we plan on building a little pavilion. We'll build a little stage here so we can maybe have little bands, little concerts. This will be an area that people can rent. Birthday parties, weddings. So even if we are open to the public, this whole area here will be private and people will not be able to get to this area because the railway station will be right in front of us here, from the grade right here all the way over to these trees here. So it'll create a barrier right across here. So let's hop up on the railroad grade. So this part of the grade is actually ready for rail. And I think I have gravel lined up. So as soon as the road restrictions come off, we're going to be hauling gravel in here. Okay, so we are on the railroad grade right now. Railroad station will be on our left. I'm going to take this off here and see what happens. Railroad station will be here, so you'll load through the station, pay for your tickets, a little gift shop, you'll get on the train, and I think it's going to be a pretty cool experience leaving the station, because once we get this thing rolling, we got this curve ahead of us and there's a 3% grade. So this engine is going to be working really hard and it's going to sound nice. Down on the left here, I figure we're going to plant our wheat, because for those of you that don't know, we have a flour mill. Yeah, this is a 3% right here. I believe possibly it touches 3.5 right about here. 3%. That way my driveway wouldn't have to be on such an angle. But as you can see right here in front of us, right there, we have to raise the driveway up about 2.5 feet when it's all said and done. So this is going to be a job in itself, and this will be a legitimate railroad crossing. We plan on putting lights and bells and everything here. I don't know if I can climb up that, so I'm going to go around. So this is the start of the cut. If you watched the mudding in a dump truck video, this is where we left off. We got that pile ahead of us here that we got to finish moving, and we got to cut this all the way up through here. So the cut is going to get fairly steep up in this area. As you're riding the rails, you'll get to this area over here, and that is the Neo Wilson loop. We currently operate that, and that's where we do a lot of charitable events. You can see our 2 full-size cabooses in the background. So let's head on through Collier's Cut. Sitting here has got to be cut in front of us. You can see how this goes up quite a bit. So this cut is going to be pretty drastic here. So Collier, Mike Collier from Collier's Contracting actually sponsored this area of the track, and that's why it's called Collier's Cut. So when you sponsor this railroad, we'll put a big 4x8 sign up for you, so when people are riding the rails, you get to see his sign. Started working in this area a little bit last year. You can see how deep the cut is here. And then we got to haul all of this fill out right here. Now ahead of us here, didn't know if we were going to make her. So this part of the grade is the highest point of the railroad. This is where we're going to build the train barn. We have water and electric back here. That is our flour mill. Our loading dock is underneath. The mill is on the first floor. There's a grain silo on the second floor. It's got cathedral ceilings because we have grain bins up in the second floor that we will fill its gravity feed down into the mill on the next floor. And then it flows after it's milled down into the basement where our bagging facility is, and then we load out all of our flour. So anyway, the train barn is going to go in this area over here. Highest point of the railroad. Be another project we're going to possibly start. Well, we've already started to cut the trees here on top of this hill. We got to keep working. Until we get our big train station built, we might use our sap shack and canning shed as a temporary train station. Nice little breezeway in there. You can come and sit and wait for the train. Parking lot will be on the other side. But we are going to be doing a sap video here real soon. We might start tapping this week. So stay tuned for a maple syrup video. We're actually hoping to use the railroad and a tank car, tap these trees, and actually use the railroad to haul all the sap up to the sap shack. So like I said, this is the highest point of the railway. So right here we are heading downhill. And we decided to run the railway this way because we are operating a Port Huron steam engine. And it's going to work hard pulling that 3% grade, and it's in the field, so if for some reason we do start a fire, it'll be easy to access. So once we get up in the woods, it's downhill, the engine will coast, a lot less risk of a fire. This section here has got to be narrowed up. We will be working on this section in the spring. I just leveled this out and roughed it in. All of these piles over here are all the topsoil piles. We cleaned all the topsoil out. So all along here, we have to haul all this topsoil out this year. Beautiful scenery, fall. It's gorgeous back here. So hopefully when this railroad is done, you'll come and take a ride on our rails. I would love to have schools out here in the sap season and show them how maple syrup is made. So we got to haul a lot of fill in here. So when we narrow that up on the section we were at behind us, we're going to haul that in this area here, because down in this low spot right up here, it's got to be filled probably 6-7 feet. So we'll put another culvert in this area. I have it set up for a culvert already. Dug a nice little trench here. So I had this entire railroad surveyed, topographical maps done. This stake survived. That is the center of the railroad grade right here. All the other ones didn't make it when we cleaned the topsoil out, so my surveyor will have to come back out and put all new stakes in again. This area here, we're hoping to have rustic camping. So I hauled some real clayey sand in here, built this up a couple of feet so it should be high and dry. The stake should pound nice without hitting any roots. If you like to fish and tent, this might be a great place. I'm gonna hop out here, I'll take you with me. We're almost to the lowest point of the railroad. And it's another 40 feet down to the river. The river is off in the distance over there. You can't see it from here. But great place. You can walk down, fish in the river. Tent can go behind the gator. I'd love to get a little pavilion up here, a little lean-to. Maybe do another campsite right here in this area. So I thought you could either hike into the campsite or you could ride the train. Probably one of the few areas where you'd be able to ride a train to a campsite. Downhill through here, train will stop, hop off, go camping, spend the weekend, spend a week. This will all have to be built up here too. This is all too low. We've hauled a lot of topsoil out of here. We've been cleaning up the brush. I took a guess earlier when I was doing a little bit of landscaping. This area right in front of us I thought was pretty close to the grade. The part we are on right now. Turns out I think I'm about 2 feet low, so we got to raise this up. The part off to the left over here, I was thinking about putting a switch in and putting a siding in here. So if anybody sponsors the private car, that will be theirs for 10 years and they'll be able to use it whenever they want. Then on certain occasions or weekends, if they want to come out and spend time in the private car, we would hook it up to the locomotive. We'd put it in here and back up into this siding, and they'd have their own little campsite right here in their own private car. So they could actually camp in the woods in a train car. There was another spot behind us that I was going to put another spur, and that would be a campsite for that private car also. And this all has to be filled. I was working on this last fall. The banks here, I put topsoil on the sides. We'll put some nice fill in here and raise this up. Topsoil's on the sides to stabilize the banks. Good vegetation growing. So this is all work that is going to be done this summer. So we got a lot of dirt to move here yet. I started mining a little dirt out of this area. I don't know if you call it mining. This little spot right here. So I'm going to cut a few more trees, clean this up a little bit, and we're going to dig some dirt out of here. And I have some old equipment. I thought it would be pretty neat to set up a mine in this area. Dump truck, dozer, put it on display here. Maybe some old mine carts from the railroad we'll set up. So that'll be another little project. Area where we currently are has to be brought up to that height right there. So this was all the dirt work I did last year. There used to be an entire hill over here which we moved here. You can see the back of the hill up on the other side over there. We'll take right up on top. I'll show you what it looks like from the other side. I tried doing this on my snowmobile. You can see the tracks in front of us, but this is all the snow we have, and it's February 19th today. This is a very unusual winter for Upper Michigan. And I was just over here an hour ago, and wherever the sun is hitting, it's starting to melt already. So this right here is the lowest point of the railroad. So it's all downhill coming from that direction this way. But we got a lot of fill, a lot of work to do through here yet. So the area we are sitting on here, like I said before, is actually ready for rail. So from just behind us, all the way to my driveway is ready for rail. So we're going to start hauling gravel this spring. I was hoping to do it because restrictions are off, but it's kind of a mess right now. So we won't be hauling gravel till restrictions come off again, because they were on for a little while and they came off. So from right here, this goes up 2 feet to help slow the train down as we're coming back into the station. And this whole field on the left, I thought it would be a great place to do tractor shows, car shows. And we are back at the parking lot. Another project we're going to be working on is these trees, because I'd love to dump all that gravel we're going to be hauling in the parking lot for the railroad grade. So you can see the road, Beckman Road is right here. We're going to take all these trees out right here, widen this driveway out. There was an existing driveway in here. This corner of the field used to come right here, and this was an existing driveway when my grandparents used to farm this. So we're going to open this up to the left here, make it accessible to get semis in here for hauling equipment and everything else in. So we got a lot of work to do here. This will be another project. We have no shortages of projects around here. here is 60-pound rail. I've hauled from all over the UP and some of it from Washington State, I do believe. There's some 40-pound switches in here. So we have most everything as long as we can get the grade done to finish the rail. So this is what we call the high line right here. And I'm going to use all the 60-pound rail on the high line, which is actually really overkill for the size locomotive we're running. This is a 2-foot gauge railroad. And then all the cuts where if there was a derailment, it wasn't so dangerous, we're going to use 40-pound rail. So the guy I bought the locomotive from, and you do all the math, 30-pound rail is more than enough to run that locomotive. So that's why I chose to go with a 40-pound rail. It's a 25% safer option, the way I look at it. And the 60-pound rail is just way overkill. But I would rather build better and not have to worry about it. Better safe than sorry. Well, that's kind of the tour of our railroad. All the projects we got to do this summer. Hope you enjoyed. It's a little raw, uncut version. And we'll catch you on the next project. Have a great day.